Rory was our 36-hole leader. He will be our 54-hole leader. It got a little shaky, Greg, I think on the second 9. We were talking about this before we went hot. When Rory's swing gets a little out of sync, what you start to see is that left miss crop up more often. We were trying to remember, I think it was final round of Canada, right? He hit a bunch of wedges and stuff left and doesn't win there. He hit a lot of shots left here on Saturday. He did get bailed out on 14. That was a left miss. Contour helps him out. Ball rolls to whatever it was. He actually makes the birdie putt. So it ends up looking a lot better than it was, but it was not as tight as I think Rory's game as he would like.
That thing on 14 gets on the other side of a mound. I mean, I'm not sure of the surrounds there, but he missed the green significantly. Yeah. And it kicked all the way on to makeable range. I mean, he must have missed that target by 40 yards.
I agree. That was ShotLink says he stuffed it to 15 feet and made a birdie. That is not what happened.
No. So you look at the scorecard now on the back 9, he makes a birdie at 10, which by the way, he had 3.5 feet for eagle.
Right.
Missed it.
Missed it.
So he makes birdie there. If you have bogeys at 12, 14, 15, I mean, this round is really disappointing at that point. You go shoot 37 on the back 9, and it's a disappointing round, and that easily could have happened with the quality of shots. Now, the breaks come and go in links golf, and so good on Rory for taking advantage of that on 14, because now he's still the leader and he's still in a really good position. But there's definitely some kinks he's got to work out heading into tomorrow. Because again, the conditions are going to be tough. There's going to be a fight out there. I don't think you want the fight to be with your golf swing.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Let's loop this conversation into a couple things. So we could talk about the odds board, Josh, in a second, but let's talk about tomorrow. If you want to share my screen, Josh, I've got the wind finder up here. So, boy, here's what we're looking at for Sunday. Basically sustained winds throughout the day of 20 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour with gusts from 30 upwards. The official PGA forecast says, and I quote, strong winds remain forecasted for Sunday with speeds in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range, gusting over 40 miles an hour. The timing of the strongest winds will be between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. 7 a.m. and 4 p.m., Greg. I don't know about you. That sounds like all day to me.
That sounds like all day. That's when we play golf. And by the way, they moved tee times up again.
They did.
So it's not like there's going to be a window. We've seen this before where the afternoon gets really windy.
Like a Snedeker. Are we going to get a Torrey Pines Snedeker finish?
I mean, I don't think so. I think this golf course handles conditions like that a little bit better. I'm glad
you mentioned it. You are absolutely right that they have not. Okay, we've been prepared for this. We've known about this Sunday for a week.
Yeah.
So they did not cut the greens. They lightly rolled them, I think, last night.
Yep.
They are probably not going. From what I understand, they're not going to cut them again. They were running on the stimp like 9.5 on Saturday, which, just to put that into perspective, the average on the PGA Tour in the last 10 events has been about 12.5. These are going to be very slow greens because of like they knew this was coming. You can't have greens that run at a 12.5 and 30 miles. The ball will not sit.
No, we've seen it before. And it becomes, that's when you get the speeds up that high, the wind really affects the break as well. And it becomes brutal. You don't even need winds that high on greens that are really fast to start affecting the break. So this shouldn't be, it at 40 miles an hour, it will still have an effect. But it's playable, at least. The ball will stay on the greens. But 9.5, I mean, when you your local public golf course, you're probably somewhere around, 9.5.
Yeah,
that's like a very normal public golf course green speed. So they will be slow. Also, Rick, I think the surrounds, the edges to the golf course, when you miss fairways, what that penalty looks like, you can handle, it's designed to be played in heavy winds. There's options to play from some of these other spots, keep the ball down. It's built for that. I'm not sure Torrey Pines is. Most American golf courses aren't. But, I think you'll still be able to get around here and even par.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question, because we really haven't seen, assuming this forecast is right, we haven't seen a day like this that I can remember in the last year or so. So what is expectation, right? I mean, is the lowest round of the day going to be even par? Is it what do you think is a really good round? And what do you think is, could the scoring average be 2 or 3 shots over par?
Yes.
Okay.
It can. I think this is one of those situations where pars become good for everybody. And it's easy. Like, you're not going to have these crazy situations where it gets like people can't finish a hole because of the wind. It's not like you're going to get stuck out there. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of really big numbers. I think there'll be a lot of bogeys. And I think you could still make some birdies. A lot will depend on how gusty it gets.
Yeah.
But if they're playing in a 25-mile-an-hour wind, they'll shoot under par. I mean, good rounds will be on. You could see a 65 in 20-mile-an-hour winds. If they're really gusty, it gets a lot more challenging. Right. So I think tomorrow a really good round is 67. I think anything at level par or better is great. I think the scoring average is probably a shot and a half over par. Be my guess.
Which would be a pretty big difference, considering there was a shot and a half under. But that would be a 3-shot swing in one day. I mean, that would be a big difference for average. Okay, that feels fair. I agree, right? These guys, the gusts is what screws these guys up. They'll know the direction. If it's sustained, they'll make the adjustments. It'll be annoying, et cetera, but but they can handle it.